Notorious, so notorious.
It's Friday night, and the Posse's back. Deep dives, local vibes, and headlines that matter, or totally don't. So crack a beer, crank it up. This is the NFNP. We're back. We're back after a 2-week hiatus. 1 week hiatus. I mean, it's been 2 weeks, I guess, but we took 1 week off. So, yes, and we have our beer. So I went to the fridge because I was like, I need a full beer. Yeah, he's gone quickly. He was like, I'll get a beer. There you go. He's got the Busch Light. I've got Busch Heavy. Duds has got Busch Light, and then I grabbed an Octo Haze for my second one, which it's like 8%. But I don't have much in the fridge. I gotta make a run. Although I've been drinking, for the most part, I've been drinking Yingling Flights, and I drank myself out of those.
Yeah, those aren't bad.
Yeah, they're not bad. They're on the lower carb end. I think we've talked about it before, but hey, for just a regular weeknight or something, you're having a couple beers, might as well do the Flights.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Yeah.
A little Maker's
Mark. I plan
Mark
on hitting it hard this
weekend.
Oh, Maker's Mark.
Yeah.
So you had a wedding last weekend.
Yep, had a cousin
this
last
weekend?
And then this weekend's my brother's. Yep.
Honestly, every time I say like, hey, let's hang out, have a wedding. Every weekend.
There's always something.
It's got to get exhausting.
Life.
Yeah, if it's not a wedding, it's a trivia night or something.
There is something going on typically. We have free weekends, but then nobody wants to do anything, When you have a free weekend, sometimes you're like, I don't know if I want to fill that with anything, When you get those free weekends,
You're right, you just want the weekend off.
I just want to not do anything sometimes.
I get that. But when you have kids, like not doing anything actually is like, no.
Right.
I mean, that's true, but you're still busy because you're busy entertaining them. So sometimes when like we hang out, it's almost like a little bit of a break for me, whether I bring the kids or I don't.
Right.
Sometimes, bring the kids to a restaurant, you give them your iPad, and then at least I got to hang out and talk to you guys, So I don't know. But yeah, I plan on hitting it hard this weekend. I'm going to the soccer game. It's the first one in like, I don't know how, at least a month. Although I didn't go to the last home game. My brother had it. So it's maybe like 6 weeks or something. So I'm starting to have withdrawals.
So what's their record now? They weren't doing too good, were they?
Yeah, not good. We got our ass handed to us last week.
41.
And we still only have one win on the season. We're in second to last place. And this weekend we play the first place team.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not gonna do
not
too
looking good. No.
Not gonna
but Kev and I will be recording probably tomorrow or Saturday morning.
Atmosphere at the games.
Well, I mean, the atmosphere when you go is fun. I still enjoy going to the games.
People going.
I'm just hoping
there's still a lot of people there.
Yeah. I mean, so they had a U.S. Open Cup game a couple weeks ago. I was out of town, and not too many people for that midweek game. It's not like real MLS action.
Yeah.
But the MLS games are sold out. It's still a completely sold out crowd. So, that's not an issue yet. But people are starting to get restless. This is now the third year in a row.
The natives are getting
we've been pretty shitty. Yeah. So yeah, Kev and I will do the full breakdown of last week's game. We'll preview this week's game before I head downtown. I'll get that posted. So if anybody wants some insights on that, you can either check out the blog or check out our pod. I know, Duds, you've been a loyal listener. You're probably a City SC pro now.
Oh yeah, I try to listen when I can. Anyway.
Yeah.
Pleasant surprise. I was tracking the Cardinals for a while there. We were doing pretty good actually for what was expected
this early in the season.
Yeah, I mean we're still doing pretty good. I mean, we lost last night. I don't know. I think they're playing tonight. I don't know. no, off tonight and then playing tomorrow. I think then after that we're on a run of like 17 straight games. So a couple of off days here. But hey, you're right. Better than we were expecting to be. Yeah, I think we're like second in the Central, and
Well, when I shared that,
maybe they end up doing something.
I shared that graphic for a while there. There was what 5 NL teams that were leading all of baseball, and I think the Cardinals were one of them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's still early. We haven't played a lot of our Central Division foes just yet. That's when
it's a long
starts
season
to get sticky, but it's a long season. There's that too, you know. So
yep, you'll have your
just
ups and
because
downs.
You have a hot start, yeah,
doesn't mean anything.
That's the thing about baseball. I mean, you can't get lucky. You know, like maybe in football sometimes it's only 17 games. You squeak out a couple of lucky wins, and that.
Well, I think it's all about the
make
playoffs,
you a playoff
right?
team or not. But
yeah,
sure, yeah,
it's all about getting to the playoffs in almost any sport, right?
Well, that's true in any sport, right? But like in
What
baseball,
sport do you think whittles
if
it down
you're
to
a
the
good
best
team
team?
or not.
You think that baseball does it the best with that long schedule?
I feel like they used to. I don't think that's the case anymore with all these wild card teams and stuff like that. I mean,
You think
back
that's
in the
taken
day,
away
you know, they
from
only
the need for that?
well, I mean, you
can get lucky there, you know.
Sure, 1-game playoffs, anybody can win that. I mean, that's a crapshoot, you know. So, I think the best actually is probably like the NCAA tournament.
Yeah,
you know, there's definitely some luck involved there. I look about like the tennis tournaments, like Wimbledon or something. Like the best player usually wins, right? Like it's hard to work your way all the way to the final.
March Madness
something like
too.
that.
I mean, you look at the guys that are playing at the end, and it's all like 1 and 2 seeds. You know, it all kind of shakes out at the end. You hardly ever have anybody that's way deeper than that.
Yeah, yeah. I remember back in college, I won my bracketology or whatever that, you know, I won at my bracket challenge one time, and I had picked Syracuse and Kansas in the finals, and I was the only one in my whole dorm that picked that final. It was a 2 and a 3 seed. So I walked away. Nilla, you might even remember this. I came home, you know, for Easter break or whatever, and I had like $300 in ones because it was like $200 to enter. So
sounds like something you would think that I might remember. I don't remember a whole bunch, but
no, yeah. I just came back with this huge stack of ones, but yeah, I haven't done too great since then. I don't pay attention as much anymore.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what do you think? Should we get into the main topic?
You got a schedule for tonight?
Well, I do have a schedule for tonight. We can see where it goes. I thought we would just do kind of a, you know, around the horn of topics or weekly recap of what's in the news, because there's so much going on. You know, we have weeks sometimes where it's dead, other weeks where it's crazy. But I wanted to start where we left off last week, because, or 2 weeks ago, we did the episode on all the missing scientists. And like 3 days later, it's gone viral. The FBI is investigating. Like all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute.
Blew it up.
Did NFNP pod? Yeah. Did the Posse blow that up? I don't know.
And now there's another new person?
Well, yeah.
Is this 11
more, right? No, there was
yeah,
like 12,
I think
14.
We're up to 11 official cases at this point.
Official.
And then I saw another post or two that said 12 or 13. Now, whether or not those are actually connected yet, I haven't done. No, who knows if any of them are connected?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
but
a
the
good
thing
point,
is, too, is I was kind of surprised that it goes back further than I thought, like a year or two ago, at least, right?
Well, I think they're actually finding other people that are missing and, you know, ending up dead that are like, hey, wait a second, these people are actually connected too. So people that previously
I think that's
thought
the thing.
unconnected, you know, are now actually being tied.
Eventually, that's the thing. A pattern starts to develop.
Yeah.
You know, and there's some key things, and we hit on this last week. You know, these walk away disappearances, people just out for a walk, don't take their wallets, their IDs, their phones, their keys, nothing.
Yeah.
There's multiple of those.
That is super weird.
Yeah. Just vanished without a trace. The one gal that was on, Monica Reza, was on a hike with her friends. Gone.
Yeah.
Like, how does that happen?
Really weird.
Yeah, 2 people that were just randomly shot dead randomly,
by random people. I mean,
yeah, more or less. Like that's also
or the one guy
you know,
found drowned.
was there? I don't even remember.
There was a
it-
guy who was found
yeah.
drowned in like a small lake or somewhere, pond somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. It starts to get a little fishy, like, because what are the odds of that stuff happening? Like, there is some stats on
To
that. The
this many
odds of
people,
like
to
of
this many
drowning, or
people,
right?
I would think
Of
all
stature,
being connected, it has to be like crazy odds that would ever actually happen.
Yes, yes, that's where it gets tricky. So it is that the initial case goes back to 2022 as of right now,
All
right? So, but then there's a lot of them within the end of last year and the beginning of this year, and I think that's when people really started to pick up on it. So, you know, and again we talked about this a lot last week, or you know, in our last episode. So I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but just as a quick reminder, agencies that are involved, you know, NASA, Department of Energy, Los Alamos, and now you got the FBI investigating, the House Oversight Committee investigating. You know, Trump has brought it up. You know, he said that this is a social media mystery and is now a top priority for federal probe. He said it's quote unquote pretty serious stuff, and that could be a sinister connection at play here.
Could
So, you know,
Sinister.
I think sinister. And that's what's kind of crazy is this started out as an AI, you know, kind of social media conspiracy. Then it got picked up by like the Will Kane show and a couple of other shows. And then all of a sudden it's on Trump's desk, and, you know, now it's all over the news.
Oh, yeah. It was probably Epstein.
You can't tie everything back to the Epstein file.
Maybe the
I
Clintons.
don't know. We'll see.
Maybe the Clintons.
Right. Yeah, could be
All
could be
these
the
people
Clintons, definitely.
were at the Clintons' wedding.
All right. Well, so there's some other weird things about this now too. And that leads into my next like sub topic, subtopic, if you will. And that's the UFO aspect of all of this. You know, so now there's starting to be some UFO tie-in.
Well, NASA,
Because,
well, not that they are UFO specifically, but
yeah. Well, at first there's this missing general, and then the one of the women's was working, women were working on anti-gravity technology.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. So people are starting to link that maybe
They
a
got
lot
some
of these
tech.
scientists were secretly,
Yeah.
they were secretly
it was
involved
like-
with, reverse engineering, alien tech, and, you know, that kind of a thing.
What was that
what you
one
think it is?
article
Is
somebody
that what you think
shared?
it is? What do you think it is?
I'm starting to question it.
I mean,
Well,
it does-
Go ahead.
so are you leaning? I was going to say, are
Who
you
shared
leaning
the
more towards
article?
that aspect where it was them having some kind of technology and maybe wanting to be suppressed, or are they being killed by other
Other
governments? Right. And it's
Yeah.
espionage.
That's a good
you know.
question.
Could be both.
Could be
Well,
both,
could be.
but I don't
It's
know.
possible. That'd be kind of
odd.
odd, but yeah. So somebody shared an
What's
article
more
I thought
highly likely,
about the other guy who was doing with the UFOs too, right? The newest guy.
Yeah. So that was McCasland, I think. And he was linked to advanced propulsion and aerospace research.
You listen to some
And
of his
I guess
videos,
he-
though. It's like he's kind of crazy, or is that like real?
Yeah. Well, and that's the same thing with the lady that was working on
How
the
crazy is this guy?
anti-gravity thing, supposedly. Like, she didn't sound right.
Mm-hmm.
And this got brought up on Joe Rogan the other day, and he was like, hey, you know, if you're constantly dealing with this stuff and you're always worried that somebody's out to get you because of what you're working on, like, you're probably getting drunk and high and stuff like that too. And so when they're recording these videos, maybe they're not in the right state of mind, or maybe
Yeah,
they're just kind of
possibly.
nutso. I mean, you remember the
Yeah.
movie Independence Day?
What if they're just
The
talking?
the
you know?
main guy, the main guy was the main scientist was a crazy dude, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, okay. The other
Brent
article I was going to say.
Spiner was his
that-
name.
Oh yeah, somebody
In real
shared
life.
about where they built some sort of thing around something they had found.
Yeah,
they
so I
think
was
that
gonna
could've-
I was
I mean,
gonna
what
bring
was
that
that?
up. Yeah. So some like congressman brought this up or something, and he
Yeah.
said that he just got declassified information or something, or just sat in on some hearing, that we had recovered a UAP, a UFO. It was in a different country.
Right.
He didn't say
But
where.
under U.S.
Mhm.
control,
And
right?
that it was so big,
Thing, yeah.
that we had to build a building around it. And yes,
Yeah,
it's
they're not
under
moving it.
U.S. control, but we couldn't move it.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
and we don't know
Yeah.
what it is.
So who knows? And we don't know what it is.
UAV.
Right? Now, you could go,
I mean,
again,
if it
go
was
back to the X-Files.
On the ground, was it a UAP?
movie.
Well, not anymore, right? Not right then.
Not-
Did they find
It
it on
was
the ground, or
aerial.
did they shoot it down? They didn't say.
I don't
Hmm.
know.
So how
We
did
don't
they know it
didn't
after
say.
it flew?
Yeah, go back to the X-Files movie, Fight
By
in
the
the
technology
Future.
that they
And
reversed.
The alien spaceship is in the ice of Antarctica. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
exactly what we do. We basically build our facility on top of it. And then,
Wasn't
cigarette smoke
a couple
rings.
years ago? I thought I remember something that there were some weird pictures, and it was up, I think, Antarctica-ish, and it looked like something had crash landed on, there, like you could see like a skid mark kind of area. And it's like,
There's-
what was that?
Starting to
side
be
of
a
the
whole
ice
lot of
wall.
conspiracies about
Right.
Antarctica.
It's where the
Did you see
dragons
that
come
ice wall?
from.
Yeah, for sure.
Dragons.
Yeah, so it's the portal to inner Earth and all of that stuff, right?
Mm.
But the reason that people are starting to bring up Antarctica is because I guess they've never had like reliable Wi-Fi or internet there, right? And
Mm.
now all of a sudden, these people that are there on expeditions have access to Starlink.
Yeah.
And so they're able to start streaming. And now they're saying that like you're not allowed to stream or do anything in Antarctica. And people are like, why? Oh, there's all kinds of stuff,
Because it
I
keeps the
don't
know.
conspiracy going.
Yeah.
Mm.
If we let you start,
Yep.
streaming from Antarctica, then people are going to know that you're not on the other side of the ice wall. It'll blow the whole thing up. You got to
That the
keep the
Earth
flat
is
earthers.
not flat.
You got to
Yes,
still give them a
yes.
reason to think it's not flat.
Well, Artemis 2, they sent some, pretty cool photos, certainly, but they have
Yeah.
a photo of Antarctica.
Yeah.
It's just this sheet of ice. It looks
big is it?
exactly like
Yeah.
Just like the map.
I mean,
How
it's
big is
big.
it?
It's a continent,
I mean, yeah,
probably bigger than Australia, I guess.
probably.
I don't know. You never really
Type
looked at
that
a
in.
map from underside, under the Antarctica side.
Well, that's the thing. You got to see the globe, and it's hard to figure it out because when you see it on a map, it really doesn't do it
Is it big?
justice. And
Is that because it's round?
yeah, it's round. The globe is round, or Antarctica is round. Antarctica is round.
How do you know that?
More or less. Yeah, look that up real quick. Type
The
it in if
surface
you get
area?
the chance. Well, see how big it is. Is it the
Yeah.
same size as Australia?
Surface
Is it
area.
bigger than
Oh, okay.
Australia? And then I'll go over a couple things here. Tim Burchett is the Republican congressman from Tennessee that's bringing up all this stuff. And so he's
Yeah, I
talking
like
about this
him.
high-ranking. Yeah, do you? Do you know him? I'm not sure that I know him off the top of my head.
I've seen him on a couple of these, the things that are
Right.
going on. He wants
Right.
people to,
Okay.
be held accountable for
Yeah,
what they're
he
doing.
wants. Yeah, for sure. And the big thing is he's saying that they've. Nilla's raising his hand. Very well done, Nilla. All right, go ahead. Do we
Yeah.
have an answer on Antarctica?
It says it is roughly twice the size of Australia.
There you go. Perfect. Look at that.
It's pretty big.
Excellent
Is that land
research. That
or
is pretty
ice?
big. Well,
Well, I mean,
it's the same.
what's under the land?
What's under the ice? Land.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what I meant, actually.
Right.
I think I said what's under the land.
Yeah, you did. But now you could go back. You could go back to Graham Hancock, and he has all this evidence of, how we discovered Antarctica way before, we supposedly discovered it. And then
Well,
people
yeah,
used
we
to be going there.
discovered North America before they think that
Sure.
we did. I mean, like, come
Right.
on.
Of course.
Curse
I
of
know.
Oak Island. I'll tell you.
Clearly. We
Man,
got to
I'm
do a
having
whole
weird,
episode on the
like,
Curse of Oak Island.
We
I
should.
think I had a dream that we were trying to mine to the center of the through the crust. Did we talk about that last time?
I don't
On
think
this-
so.
Is there Bitcoin there?
That must have been a dream I was having. Because it came to me just clear as day about trying to mine through the crust of the earth. I don't know why that was.
If you could create a tunnel from point A in the earth to point B in the earth, all the way around,
Mhm.
would take exactly 90 minutes to get from point A to point B anywhere on Earth.
I don't
How cool
follow.
is that?
Like,
Well,
what are you doing?
not anywhere because the hole can't be anywhere. It has to be in one spot.
Right, wherever the hole is. But
I mean, yeah.
you could have the hole from here, from St. Louis to LA, 90 minutes. St. Louis to Sydney, 90 minutes. St. Louis to Antarctica, 90 minutes. However you dig that hole, it would take you 45 minutes of free fall through the tunnel down to the
Oh, you're
the
talking
center
about
of the Earth.
gravity? Is that what you're talking about?
Yep.
Okay.
And then you'd go 45 minutes back the other way.
Or would
And
you go the other way
You would.
automatically?
Automatically.
Hmm.
Pretty cool. And you'd accelerate. You'd slow down, and then you'd accelerate. Then you'd slow down again.
This is obviously theoretical since nobody's ever tried that.
Well, you can't do it, but I think
hold
the
on.
math is there.
So hold on. Eventually, though, if you would keep going back and forth, would you just end up right in the middle of the earth then?
No, you'd always go back and forth. You could never end up in the middle of the earth.
Wasn't it?
Somebody would have to pull you out, though, when you get to the end. You'd fall right back down. So somebody would have to be there to
You're right there in a
You have
gravity.
to
have a
figure out,
way
how fast would you come flying out in order to see really where would you stop,
No,
level
you'd
with the
come
ground,
out.
100
You'd
feet
come
below?
out. Here, that's what's crazy. You'd accelerate all the way, and then when you get to the end of the hole, you'd have a second of like where you're zero gravity.
Yeah.
Right. So you actually slow down as you make your way back to the surface.
Right. But
Yeah.
where would that be? Would it be right at the surface exactly?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna speculate on that.
Okay. All
Now
right.
you could do the same thing with air travel. So think about that. Anywhere in the world you can get to in about 90 minutes, but we just have to develop a plane that essentially goes up and comes back down. It would take you 90 minutes anywhere in the world. You go up to a certain spot in space and then come back down at the right angle. It'd be exactly 90 minutes anywhere in the world. Here to Chicago, 90 minutes. Here to Sydney, 90 minutes. Imagine
where
if
did
we
you
could
reach that?
perfect
Takes you
that.
90 minutes to get to Chicago, but you can go to Sydney in the same amount of time? That's stupid.
Who would do that?
I know we can get to Chicago now in 45.
I would
the
go to Sydney
old-fashioned
just
way.
to go to Chicago,
Yeah, I know, but pretty cool. Anyhow, that's all UAP stuff. We're not there yet. We need to reverse engineer that technology from the aliens. So anyhow, this high-ranking general has just been hidden from Congress, and so they don't know if he's actually missing, if he's dead, or if they basically just took him and were like hid him away. Like, no, you can't be called by Congress. You're not going to be subpoenaed. You're off doing other things.
Oh, you mean like Biden?
Like Biden was. Yeah. Like he was.
Like what?
Right?
He's just gone.
Yeah.
Like what happened?
Never came out for any
ice cream.
speeches. Never came out
no.
for any what's the word I'm thinking of? Interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah. Press conferences.
Mhm.
He never had to answer for
yeah,
anything.
So this general, we don't know.
Yeah,
right.
Burchett has claimed in several interviews now that specific high-ranking military officials, often referred to as UFO generals, were scheduled to provide testimony or information, but have since been made unavailable or moved to a position
Made.
where they can no longer be reached.
Sounds like death almost.
They have been digitally or professionally erased, he claims.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So, and now you
Professionally
piggyback. I know. Right? It's like the Net. You remember the Net
The
with Sandra
Eraser.
Bullock?
Like
That's
the
a good
Eraser.
callback,
Eraser
right?
with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. What was the other one? What was the Will Smith one? It's maybe a little bit
Well,
different.
yeah. Enemy
Do
of the
you remember
State?
that one?
Or
Yeah, Enemy
I
of
don't
State.
know. Is that
Enemy of the State.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
That's a
that
good
was
movie.
a good one.
yeah.
That was like
Yeah,
from
yeah,
back when we were
all
in high
three
school.
of those. Yeah.
That
was
one's
one of
kinda
his
scary
early ones, but all
because-
three of those are good.
You could see how the government would really be like that.
Oh,
Well,
for
and
sure. And
now-
that was like 20 years ago, at least.
For sure. And now with AI, the stuff that they could do, clone your voice, video,
Bring a different identity,
doctor,
become
yeah.
Obama.
You think they could
Stealing
track
Social
you like
Security
that? Well, they don't even
numbers.
need to. They don't even need to. They have the Wi-Fi signal and they have all the cell phones. So they probably have like a
And they
3D
can use
map
the murmur.
of everywhere.
They were
Yeah, the ghost murmur.
They were talking about this on Joe Rogan. I think it was Joe Rogan I was listening to the other day about how basically the government's listening in on all conversations now, and they just feed it through a program, and AI is sorting all of it. So like nobody has to be listening, right? Which they were already kind of doing that a little bit, like like
right
if you
now,
said the
I'm going to
word
say it
bomb
before anybody
or,
else does. If any of us go missing, I mean, right here, come on, you said it first.
And that's what some of these scientists were. Like this lady,
Yeah.
she was like, I would never off myself. Like if I off myself, that did not.
Right.
Yeah,
not
you're
how it
never gonna
happened.
like leave
Well, then
your
she killed
wallet,
herself,
your keys, and
supposedly.
your cell phone all there, right? And just go for a walk and never come back.
Yeah. It's a little fishy. It's kind of like the guy that was going to testify against Boeing, and then he just ends up dead by suicide. And then he wrote a letter like 2 weeks prior saying, "I will never commit suicide."
It's really weird how
gave it to
people
his best friend
that are willing to go and testify against somebody are just like all of a sudden really suicidal. Like
I know, right? Like, what are the odds?
why would you want to do
Well,
that?
and this kind of crazy, like, you think like back to the mafia days, and I'm sure that happened all the time, and that's why people never wanted to testify because they were going to get off. But then you kind of think you're like, oh, well, by today's standards, nobody does that anymore. We got rid of the mob. Yeah. Right.
There's one
now
mob
it's
that
the
we get rid of.
government,
Right. Exactly.
or the left.
Well, somebody.
All of them.
Yeah,
The Russians.
somebody. Yeah. All right.
They're
So to
probably
wrap up the UFO stuff, Trump, he's been talking about all this now and saying that he's just going to declassify everything. Now, whether or not that actually happens, I don't know. The Pentagon's supposed to release information, more videos. We'll see. Nilla?
He did declassify something just the other day. Weed.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. Yeah, I think that was today.
Actually, maybe
it was today. Medical marijuana.
Still declassified.
So, yeah.
One step.
Right. And then he also did he's fast tracking FDA approval on the psychotic, whatever it's called, psychedelics. Yeah. And Joe Rogan, if you listen to him, I mean, he talks about this stuff all the time. And then he was at the White House talking about all this stuff, and then he got actually like hammered online, for being there with Trump and all that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Just anybody that does anything
You're
with Trump
next to
or
Trump,
RFK,
you're terrible.
They're ostracized by the left. They're canceled. All that. Like Joe Rogan was already pretty much canceled by the left, so the right supports them certainly, and the libertarians and all of that. But
I just think people that have a brain,
all right.
If you don't have a brain,
I only had a brain.
All right.
Tin Man.
The Tin Man. Yeah. All right. Next topic. So moving on. We missing UFO generals, missing scientists. Go back and listen to the last episode. I guess we'll see where this lands. Trump did say that we should know everything about these missing scientists within about a week and a half. Well, that was about a week and a half ago.
So, wow, really? How would he possibly know that?
And say that?
I don't know.
Like what?
That's just because Trump has no filter.
What happened in a week and a half.
I know right now, but I can't tell you yet. But in a week and a half, maybe.
Well, that's the thing. He might know. That he might have that information already.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. We got to talk about a couple of other things, and I do have some politics in here. Have you guys heard about the Stop Nick Shirley Act?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, out in California.
This is a little insane, is it not?
Oh yeah.
Are they not trying to silence journalists? And is this not? If the conservatives were doing this, the Republicans,
oh my gosh,
the left would have a field day with First Amendment violations.
The whole country would be burned down by now.
Well, for sure. 100%. So that's what amazes me about this thing. So the bill pits the safety and privacy of immigration service providers against First Amendment rights of independent journalists and quote unquote citizen reporters who investigate them.
He'll be dead soon, I guarantee it.
Nick Shirley?
Yep.
Let's hope not.
Somebody will kill him. That's how it works.
I do think that his life is at risk.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, think about.
I don't know how much.
Think about the hundreds of billions of dollars in fraud. That's a lot of money, and he's one guy that, if they think they can silence him.
Yeah.
But
you
do something like that, and you might get more people, to come out and defend
Well,
himself
like Charlie Kirk.
and start doing it. So it might get
Yeah.
worse for him. You
I
know,
mean, trying to
killed
silence them.
Charlie
Well, guess what
If
it
you-
did? The
if you
opposite.
make a martyr out of somebody like that, then you can make the movement even more powerful. So
this
exactly.
podcast
Hopefully.
might not even exist if Charlie Kirk hadn't been murdered.
It's possible, actually. You know.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
It's
kind of weird
possible.
cause and effect. Things that happen.
it is. It is. Well, I don't know how much money Nick Shirley has made from going viral on social media. Maybe he's gotten some donors, and I think he's sold some T-shirts. I don't know. Hopefully, it's enough that he can get some private security.
Yeah.
Because
sure.
to your point, he might need it. He was out there. I saw videos of him like confronting the state reps that were voting on this bill, dubbed the Stop Nick Shirley Act, right? So, I don't know.
What's
We'll
his,
see. We'll see what
have
happens.
you even looked into him before? What is his background? Like, why is he even doing it?
I don't know. He could have been motivated by Charlie Kirk for all we know.
Possible.
Maybe he was just some college kid, didn't know what to do after college, and decided to go this route. I don't know.
This is
Like maybe we should
interesting.
do a little bit of research on
Yeah, dude.
Nick Shirley. When you're
Next
young
week.
like that, honestly, like when you graduate college, you're 22, 23 years old. I know you have to make money, but you've got 7 years, right? Until you turn 30 or whatever. Where in theory you could probably do like whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm sure pretty
Right?
much.
Like you can scrape by. Your parents, if they have money, they'll probably help you out a little bit. Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
be making some kind of income, but you're
Sure,
not
sure.
really getting taken seriously at a real job until you're 30 anyway.
Yeah.
Unless you're an Ivy League big shot or
Yeah.
we're born on third base.
Yeah.
But
Silver spoon.
for normal people, that's like an 8-year window that I don't think we probably took advantage of.
We didn't do
you
shit.
know,
We
yeah.
played around. Yeah.
Yeah, we played around. I had a crappy job, a job that barely paid the bills, a
Yeah.
going nowhere job.
Well, look at us now. We're all okay.
Yeah, well now, right.
I mean,
But who knows if we would have taken those 8 years and tried to do something creative and we could be off doing something else.
I don't know, man. I mean, I
Making
know
more
people
money.
that took some time off like that and didn't really like get into their career, or try to get into what they
Anything,
wanted
right.
to do, and they
Then they didn't
did
have
some
any
other stuff,
experience and
and then they
Yeah.
and they did that for like 8 years, and then they came back and tried to get back into like getting into an office environment and doing project
Too little,
management,
too
stuff
late.
like that, and just not knowing how to do any of it.
Yeah.
And just not
Well,
being
they
able
talk
to-
about
not
that a
being able to
lot.
pick
Like
it up.
they call it right. They
Mm.
call it like the half-life of your industry. Have you heard this before? I think
Mm.
Duds, like engineering, your industry, like the half-life of everything in engineering is like, I don't know, like 8 years or something.
What do you
Which
mean?
basically means like I think it means like 4 years in, like half of the information that you've learned is now outdated.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I mean,
So, right. So if you
I don't know.
graduated from college and you work for 8 years, 4 years of that or 4 years worth of that information is crap, or 50% of that information
Okay.
is no
I can
longer
see that.
valid. I have to look up.
I know what you're
exactly
saying. I
it
mean,
is.
yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense. Not talking about engineering specifically, talking about anything almost, kind of.
Yeah, it's anything. I mean, like the
Yeah.
medical field, anything that
Technology.
has changing. Yeah, technology.
I mean,
right. So if you don't do it for 8 years, well, now everything that you learned back in college is
Yeah,
worthless.
totally.
Right.
Right, exactly.
There you go.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't
Yeah.
think that some of those, like sciences and that would be outdated after 8 years. So that doesn't sound right.
Yeah,
Depends on what they learn,
outdated is the
but-
wrong word, but
Yeah.
they learn new things, and you haven't kept up with those things. You haven't, stayed up to date with the knowledge.
Yeah,
of
like
it
what
or
if you didn't
whatever.
use a computer
Sure.
for 8 years or a phone, and then like you'd be like, "What the crap is this? How do I use this? Is this an
I
iPhone?"
can't even.
or-
I can't even use an iPhone for Christ's sakes. So, but you're
Yeah, it
right.
would be
Stop
interesting,
using
though.
a phone. Do an experiment. Yeah, stop
go
using a
back
phone
to
today, and in
school.
8 years, try and use one.
Yeah, it would be interesting to go back to school and like see if the classes were similar. How much of that is still being done,
Right.
or how
Sure.
many
Yeah.
new classes
Is it
have they put
harder?
in
Is it
place?
probably easier?
I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Something I don't
I don't
know.
know.
What do you mean
I'm
you
sure they
can't
do studies
flunk
on it.
now? I mean, they have to pass you pretty much, so it's got to be easier.
That is true. They
mean-
almost have to pass you.
Do you remember?
Yeah, that is a big thing.
Do you remember doing phonics in school? Like when we
Yeah,
were
of
in grade
course.
school?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember we had a phonics book,
Greg, do you remember that?
like a
Like
workbook.
Not
when you were in
specifically
school?
like being hooked on it.
Yeah, being hooked on it. That's
Have you seen
exactly
that? Have you
it.
seen that
No, I
meme
don't
where
know.
the guy's like hooked on phonics and his
I don't
dad
know.
catches
Maybe
him.
sounds familiar.
I've been hooked on phonics since
What
I was
is it?
14. Well, yeah, anyway,
Mm,
but they don't teach that anymore. Like in a lot of schools, they don't teach you
mm.
the
Yeah,
phonics
yeah.
of the English language. Which don't you
Yeah,
think
it's
Well,
that's kind
definitely
they
of
don't.
different.
important to know how to for your reading and writing and
So my
speech?
wife, when she
Yeah.
taught first grade, they did a blend. So they would do some phonics, but not like we did phonics. And then they do their big thing, and you might know this, Duds, is sight words.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of like learning all the rules, now they do learn some of the rules of the letter sounds and putting sounds together, but they also just look at a lot of words and essentially memorize them,
Mm.
which that is what we do. Like when you go to read, you're
Yeah,
not
true.
reading anymore.
Yeah, yeah,
Your brain has memorized those words.
yeah.
So you don't actually have to read them. And so you've
Right.
seen those tests where they jumble all the letters and you could still read what the
Yeah,
word
you're
is.
basically
Oh, yeah,
skimming.
As long as the first letter and the last letter
Yeah.
are the same, you just,
Maybe
so-
another
know
letter
what
in the
that
middle
word- I know
there
what
or
that
something
word's
like that you
supposed to
might
mean.
see. Or
yeah. My daughter's all about, because we have flashcards for her sight words, and she likes to read them upside down. And I'm like, I mean, that's a good skill, I guess,
Could be.
for your brain, but I don't.
You ever see that, like in a mirror, somebody shows a picture, whether it be a selfie or something like that, and you're like, what the crap does that say? Because it's like backwards, but like,
Yeah, that is harder for whatever reason.
yeah, I can do upside down better than I can
Yeah,
backwards.
sure,
I'm like, what?
definitely.
Do these
Yeah.
people
I just-
realize that it's backwards in the picture or not? I don't know.
Yeah, you're turning your head, trying to like, how do you read that?
I had no idea though that they would change the way kids were just to learn how to read, like the actual technique.
Well,
you know what
they
I
If
mean?
they
changed how to
find a
do
real
math.
better way, the same with Common Core math, right?
Yeah,
They've
I don't understand.
learned
It doesn't
different
make sense.
ways. No, and when
So is it
I
better,
do
or
math
is
with my,
it just different? Like who
it's just
knows which
different.
is the better way?
Yeah, I don't think anybody does, and it's different for every kid.
And who makes
So
the
like we're
decision?
teaching Catalina, we're teaching Kat all the different
The
ways.
power of education.
So, well, right. There might be one official way when she's in math class, but when she comes home and she's doing it with us, she knows the different ways. And the fact of the matter is, and I hated this, even I remember being in like 7th grade, and I found a better way to do one of our math things. But our teacher wouldn't let me do it that way. So if I did it on the test, she would give me a 0, and she was like,
Oh,
"That's
like
not
when
the
you
way to
showed
do
your
it."
work, you mean, or something?
Yes, I'd be like, but I got to the right answer. Just because I
Yeah.
didn't do it the way that you wanted me to do it, what does it matter?
Yeah.
My way is shorter and faster,
Yeah.
but it
She
wasn't
didn't
the
like that,
right
huh?
way. I think when it comes to math, all that matters is whatever strategy works for you to help you get to the
Yeah.
correct answer.
Of course.
Whether it's regrouping or I don't really know the other one.
Unless the teacher
Long
teaches
division.
a certain
Fractions.
way,
I don't know.
and they want to see it that way.
Well, if you've seen any of these like TikTok videos or stuff, when it comes to like math, every now and then they'll pop up, and a lot of them is fractions. And they're
Yeah.
like, well, if you know how to add fraction, I sucked at that when I was a kid. Well, they show you all these cheats, and then even though it's not the official way to do
Sure.
it always works.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, why didn't they just teach us that? It doesn't
They
make
There's
didn't
sense.
so
know.
many
Of course
different
they
ways
didn't.
to
know.
teach you. They didn't have the internet.
Yeah,
That's not
Of
the way
course-
they knew, so they didn't teach it that way.
for sure. That was probably
I mean,
part of
it
it.
was their
And now
shortcut.
you have just the simple phrase. You remember? Well, you're not always going to have a calculator in your pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are.
Well, we don't know about the future, but I mean,
Let me just
Well, you got
ask
one on
AI.
on your wrist now.
I don't
Yeah.
actually. That's another thing they don't teach. They don't teach cursive. I don't think hardly. They don't teach how to read a non-digital clock. What do you call it? A cryptic
Analog?
An analog clock.
Is that it?
Non-digital.
Yeah.
I
We're
was like,
teaching our daughter how to read an analog clock, of course, but the one in our kitchen has Roman numerals. So now I'm
there's another
trying to
one they
like
probably
teach her
teach
the
her a
Roman
bunch.
numerals now.
Yep.
She hasn't learned that yet.
Just tell her to
Well,
figure
that'd
out
be
what Super
fun.
Bowl it
Then
is.
she can see what Super. Exactly.
Exactly.
Nice.
Damn, beat you to it.
Yep, got me.
I remember that though when I was younger. I don't remember learning Roman numerals, but every time there'd be a Super Bowl, I'd be like, "What the crap number is this? Come on, what are we?
Yeah.
We're not Roman."
One more than last year.
That's exactly. That's all.
How do you add Roman numerals?
All right.
Man.
Back to Nick Shirley. We are very good with our tangents. Back to Nick Shirley. So
Tangent?
Yeah, the co-tangent. Back to math, right? So this bill, listen to some of these things though with the bill. It allows providers to petition to have their homes and business addresses redacted from public records if they can show a quote unquote credible threat of harm.
What does that mean?
Crazy. It means nothing. Exactly. Anybody could say it. They don't want their business address listed. Done. Grants providers the right to sue for damages and legal fees if their information is shared in violation of the act. It would be up to a $10,000 fine for anybody that is sharing info that's not authorized, any unauthorized users. So it's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Well, you got to protect the fraudsters. I mean,
right. That's ultimately what it ends up being, which is crazy. It's crazy. And of course, a lot of this comes down to like immigration in California, of course, you know, but there's no line between what is harassment and what is investigation, right? So that's a big thing.
Sure.
If the facility is taxpayer funded, the location and operation should be public record.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an argument from, you know, for people that are against this. The concern is that the law would be used selectively to protect political allies of the state. Duh.
What doesn't make sense, which is I still can't fathom in general stuff like this that like certain people don't get behind, because how much 450 was a million or dollars in fraud roughly?
Billion. It's crazy.
Billions.
When you go back to COVID and now you got all the stuff in Minnesota.
What was it? 52? Was it 42 hospices and 4 blocks?
Right. Yes.
I mean, like, let's hear the stats. Where are they at?
And well, RFK said something the other day, and I think I shared it in the chat. He was on the Hill, and they were asking him that question, and he said whatever number it was, you know, like we put a stop to 400 hospices, and we haven't gotten one call asking to be reinstated.
Why is that?
Why do you think that is? He said that. He was like, because they were all fraud.
Yeah.
So
or fraud.
So then I also wanted to talk a little bit. This is switching topics just a little bit. I wanted to talk about Spencer Pratt because I listened to that Joe Rogan episode, and this ties into exactly what we were talking about. I don't know if you listened to that episode, Duds.
Who's Spencer Pratt?
Really good. So he was the villain on The Hills. Do you remember Laguna Beach and The Hills back in the day?
Yeah.
It was a TV show. But
I've seen it maybe once. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, The Hills are not The Hills. Laguna Beach is back in the news because they just filmed a reunion for the Roku channel, I guess. But this is kind of separate. Laguna Beach.
Opposite coast.
Yeah, but after Laguna Beach ended, then they started The Hills. Spencer Pratt eventually started in The Hills, married Heidi Montag, who was Lauren Conrad's friend, and then he played the villain. Of course, anybody that watched the show hated him, but obviously at some point it came out that it was all fake, and he was like, I'm not that bad of a guy. I just wanted to be on TV, and I found a way that worked for me to be on TV.
Show,
so
right?
I played a character. Yeah, it's a fake reality show.
Yeah, it was like a reality show. It's how it was recorded. It was like a reality
show. You mean fake?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So that's how
They're
got famous. And they're all fake. So he got famous from that, but then his house burned down in the Palisades fire and his parents' house. And then he just got so pissed and, kept investigating all the stuff about why it happened, how it happened, and then how California's screwing everybody to help them rebuild. And he just said, screw this, I'm going to run for mayor.
So he's got black
So
build.
it seemed yeah, well, I mean, a little bit, but it seemed outlandish at the time. But I think at this point, he's like the number 2 candidate and has a pretty legitimate shot of winning.
That'd be good.
And so now that he's been on Joe Rogan, And after listening to the episode, I'm like, okay, this guy seems smarter than even I gave him credit for. He's our age, roughly, you know? And he said he probably doesn't have to do a whole lot. I'm assuming he has decent money. So he said he's just spending his time researching all this crap. And one of the things he found were all this hospice stuff and how they were building all these hospices and they would draw out the actual construction of them with all these taxpayer grants and all this stuff. So he said some of these have been under construction for like 7 years, but yet every year they get money for each bed that they haven't even built yet. So basically, if they say this is going to be a 100-bed hospice facility, the government pays them out every year for each bed in that facility, even though the facility is not built yet. So they're purposefully dragging it out and siphoning money from the taxpayer. And so when he talks about all this stuff, well, right, and that's kind of what he says. It's like it's all a scam. And then, of course, he goes into more stuff about guess who the developer is the owner, who's the guy that bought the land for cheap, whatever. It all ties in, and it basically ends up being the same company that's running the whole show. Yeah. So go check out that episode. I was really into it. Surprisingly.
How many politicians
I didn't think I would
are on the take, especially out there?
Oh, well,
it's got to be almost all of them.
We could talk a little bit of all of them, right? But look at Eric Swalwell, who just got busted, right? We don't have to go into all the specifics, but got busted for all this, sex stuff and harassment and all that stuff. Well, a couple of things on that. He's the worst. Apparently, everybody kind of knew it. Like it was one of these known
they always do, it seems
things,
like, too.
Right? Yeah.
Kind of tell by looking at him. He looked like just a creep.
Yeah, of course. Yes, he does. He looks like a creep, right? Any of these quote unquote effeminate males, like he was trying to be masculine, maybe, but he wasn't. I don't know. Anyhow, I digress. But he apparently he got busted today because he started up like essentially this fake AI company with his buddy, and then he was using his campaign contributions to fund his business. In this AI thing, like this guy, like, come on. So he's on the take, he's doing all the stuff. And then of course he's sexually harassing women. But the conspiracy out there about him is the California governor's race. So 2 Republicans are leading that race right now. And the way that the California primary works is only the top 2 primary vote getters make it on to the actual governor race.
Yeah,
so if the top 2 end up being Republican, you're guaranteed a Republican governor.
Oh, it doesn't matter. The Democrats will still vote him in because that's what they do. They're stupid.
Well, you eventually got to vote somebody in. But guess who they just got rid of? Was this by design? Eric Swalwell had to drop out of the race. So did they do this to him so that they could make it easier? Because now all of those votes have to go somewhere else. They got to go to another Democrat.
Yeah, that's true.
So
didn't they
the
already do that
Democrat
before with Harris?
Kamala?
Didn't they do that? Yeah.
Or with
They
Biden.
kinda
They did,
similar.
they did it with,
Yeah.
they got rid of Biden, and then it just left Kamala.
Yeah. Just like boom, last minute, like, oh yeah, no. It's like, what? What do you think they're going to? The votes.
They're manipulating the voting. So I mean,
Yeah.
it might not be the actual votes themselves, but they're taking the candidate base and making it smaller by releasing this information. That's the conspiracy. I'm not saying that is what happened. He also may have just been a sicko, and it just so happened to be that it came out now. But it is odd that why did it come out now? He's been in Congress for a long time. He got busted sleeping with a Chinese spy. Somehow he didn't get booted at that point.
Still voted him in.
Yeah.
It is kind of crazy how they do their elections out there. I think they could do that statewide for all elections too. It's not just the governor. It's like every race is done that way, I think.
Yeah.
Every state election.
Is that are they rigging it to make sure that because more times than not, especially by today's standard, they're just going to have 2 Democrat candidates.
Yeah, right. See, I don't know. I don't really like that. It should be the same everywhere.
Now? Well, I think they have a bunch of They have a bunch of Democrat candidates, so it's spreading the vote out amongst a bunch of those
Well,
candidates.
right
And they
now,
have
yeah,
very
Yeah.
few Republicans that are getting all the votes. So if you get down to just
Yeah.
one Republican, he would probably win.
Well,
well, he would at
true,
least
you would
get to
think.
the final ballot. You
Well,
know,
right.
Although
you
you
know, I
really
guess
kind
you
of
can
want
get
two
2 on there.
Republicans, because if one of the Democrats makes it,
Well,
then
sure.
they could probably take it. So you really want two
Yep.
Republicans.
Well,
and
these
then the better
other
one. If
these
you want a
other
Republican, does it
Democrats,
really matter? I mean,
right?
they're all the
Right.
same.
I know. It's California. Arnold Schwarzenegger, wasn't he a Republican?
Yeah,
Think
but
so.
do you really believe that? I don't know.
I don't know.
You believe that? I don't know.
He was the governor. You know, he was the governor back in the
The
day.
governor to
Chuck Norris.
screw
Wait,
your
Chuck Norris was
freedoms.
never the governor, but
Screw your freedom.
He was the
there was
governor
the-
of the world.
Jesse Ventura, wasn't he the governor of Montana?
Was it Montana?
I think so. Yeah, if I
No.
remember correctly.
Was it
All right.
South Dakota?
I don't know.
I think
Whatever
so.
state it was. What'd you say? South Dakota?
I think it was South Dakota.
I think it was I
Minnesota?
think it was Montana. No,
Was it
definitely
Minnesota?
not Minnesota. No.
I don't know.
All right, next topic. Moving right along here. All right,
Hey,
this
hold on.
one
Nope.
is
We're
huge.
not moving on yet.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the Virginia vote?
Yes.
You did. Did you see
Yeah,
the wording
did.
on the bill, or not the bill?
Yes.
It was like a amendment, or what were they trying to do? Pass some kind of
They're
what do they
trying to
call that?
gerrymander the congressional votes for the state of Virginia, of which the Republicans, the conservatives, have been accused of doing this as well too in states like Texas and Florida and stuff like that. Now the Republicans come back and they say, "Hey, we're only just fixing it. Like the Democrats did it to us." And the Democrats come out and they say, "We're against gerrymandering." Well, then Virginia, the governor of Virginia came out and said that gerrymandering should be illegal. And then now she's trying to gerrymander. Am I saying the right word? Once you say it enough, you say it too many times. You know, like, is that even the word?
Yeah, I think you got it. Yeah.
So she's come out and said that it should be illegal, but now she's doing it. And yes,
Of course.
in the verbiage, it says to make the election more fair, but by whose standards?
It
Well,
was
right, exactly.
to restore fairness. It said that pass this, amendment to restore fairness in the voting. It's like, how do you put those types of words on any type of a ballot measure? To restore
Right,
fairness, you're
right.
steering people clearly to one answer, right? Do you think fairness is good or bad? Like, of course you would think it was good.
I think
to be
the
fair. So I should pass
circuit
this.
district court in Virginia rejected that bill, though. So I don't know if it's going to hit the ballot or even if it
approved
does.
It said they
I
approved
heard
it.
that it didn't make it.
I read that they approved it.
It was
going on as it
Minnesota
said.
that he was the governor of. I looked it up.
Huh.
No, Jesse Ventura?
Minnesota, it
so.
says right here.
Damn, I could have sworn it was Montana.
It started with an M.
Yeah, all right. Well, that was, what do they call that? A Mandela effect, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
He was
course, if
about
it's
to
just
out of
me,
my head. I
then
knew he
I
was
was
one of
just
those
wrong.
North states. I couldn't remember which one.
Yep. So I don't know. We'll see where Virginia goes, but we've talked about this on the pod before too. Like this new governor, the new state
Virginia's screwed.
governing body. Yeah. The all their taxes and now this, like they
that was New York.
Yeah,
West-
well,
it's
all
Virginia
of them,
too.
of course.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Well, New
Yeah.
York
It's happening
too, but-
everywhere.
we
basically-
went through the list on the podcast about all the taxes Virginia had on like day one. It was out of control.
So basically, we have West Coast jacked up, basically, and then we have the East, Northeast Coast, if you will. The New England. They're all jacked up too with taxes and shit and stupidity. And somebody raised their hand. I was like, "What's happened?"
Yeah, Duds is anxious. He's anxious to say.
Yes,
something.
Duds.
I was gonna say, do you think that? I mean, one of these states is gonna have to collapse eventually, right? New York, like city, is gonna have to collapse under
Yeah.
the weight
Yeah.
of giving free stuff to everyone, right? California under the
You would
weight of
only
all the
think.
fraud. So,
Yeah.
do we eventually get leaders in those places that can actually turn things around? Like, what I was sending you guys earlier about El Salvador, right? If you get the right person put in place, a lot can change,
Yeah.
pretty quickly.
Argentina. It was the same thing
Yeah.
happened in Argentina.
So, I mean, do you think that these places are going to get so bad that Americans are like, okay, let's stop with the identity politics and stop with all this. Whoever is going to fix this, we're going to vote for them. And do you think
I mean,
you could,
eventually,
do you think you could actually even
Maybe. I
get
don't know.
people to get in there and do it, or would they just become corrupted so quickly?
That's
I
true
mean,
too.
yeah, I mean that is something, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, like if you ever ran for office, I mean, maybe everybody starts out this way and then they get corrupted. But like if I ran
Right.
for office, I'd be like, I'd run as a good dude. I wouldn't let people bully me. And
Easy to say now, though.
I'd like to
right,
think
you
so,
say
and I
that,
think
but then
most people would like to
right.
think so.
Sure. So then you either get booted, because
Yeah.
the caucus, after 2 years or whatever
Get
it is, they're like,
blackballed.
we don't like this guy. But, right. We're gonna primary them. We're gonna spend a bunch of money. We're gonna
He
get
doesn't
them out.
play ball.
Look up. Let's see what happens with John Fetterman. Right? Like,
Mhm.
you think he's gonna make? No, he's a senator, so he's got 6 years. But you think he's gonna get another term the way that he's playing ball with the Democrats? I wouldn't think so.
Probably not.
Now, maybe
Who
he
was
changes
really smart
parties.
was George Orwell. Did you ever read
Because he
Animal
predicted
Farm?
all this
I mean, he was
way back in the day, maybe back in high school or something.
kind of a
or
visionary,
college.
I think. Well,
Yeah.
I think he grew up under communist rule or whatever, or lived through
Yeah.
communist time. And
Uh,
Animal Farm, the pigs eventually become the humans, right?
Yeah. I got a book right up here on my bookshelf, The Radical Mind by David Horowitz. And it's all about, he grew up under communist rule. Yeah. Grew up under communist rule, and he talks all about how, we're turning into a socialist country and, how people think it's the answer. And he assures us it is not.
Animal Farm is a really good book. And I've actually looked into like what the different animals are supposed to represent. And they, actually there's some analysis of that, and talks about, how the horses representing the working people of the country, and the different.
I've heard that before, like the animals. Yeah.
Yeah, certain pigs were like represented different factions of political parties. I think it was back when, was that in Russia? Or
Probably.
I think it
Makes
was.
sense.
I think it
Yeah.
was in Russia. Yeah, the communist like revolution going on in Russia. And then they chased away like the one good pig, I guess, that had the good ideas of like the republic type, democracy thoughts, and then they kept the pig with the communist ideals, the socialist ideals. I guess it was more socialism. Kept them around, but then the pigs, they chased off the farmer at the beginning because he was abusive and all that. But the pigs, over time, at the end of the story, the other animals look in on the pigs sitting around the table, and they all turn into humans. So it's kind of like, well, when you get that
they're doing the same
power,
thing.
does it corrupt you? And then you become the power that you kind of overthrew.
If you ever study Russian history, it's actually pretty fascinating.
Goes on for a
going
long
back
time.
to the old. Sure, yeah. I mean, the czars, the Bolshevik Revolution, the USSR. It's actually pretty crazy history if you ever want.
Well, you think we're going to be 250 years old, America, but those countries like China and Russia and Germany, I mean, they go back thousands of years. Like
it is crazy.
Yeah, the Britain.
And that's why they call us the great American experiment. We were the first
the new world
democracy.
Still babies.
The new world.
The rest of the world, really.
For sure. I mean, you go over to Europe, you'll go to a bar that's been around longer than the United States of America.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
It's pretty nuts. All right. Got to get back on point here. I've got a few more topics. I don't have a wheel topic tonight. So, because I just thought this is kind of like the wheel. I'm just going,
just go for it, man.
Through them. But I feel like we have to talk about this. This is a huge story, and I think we're just scratching the surface of this. The Southern Poverty Law Center controversy.
Yeah, nice.
Now, you posted on this.
I use those guys.
But You do what?
Kidding.
You
You-
use them?
Yeah, I use them. They're my lawyers.
I don't even know what that means. For your, oh, yeah, they're your lawyers.
Oh.
Yeah. Right.
I don't
I'm
know
like,
the
well,
story.
you use them for what? No. This is
For all the
this is
KKK
insane. So they're
rallies.
being well, and that's what it is. They're taking money from their donors and they're giving the money to organizations like the KKK so that they have racist rallies so that they can get more donations.
Yeah, make it make sense, right?
So, right.
All right.
So we were talking
It's
about
like
like the
giving money
circle,
to
right?
your
The
government.
circle of life.
It's like giving money to your government to fight terrorism, and then the government giving the money to the terrorists so that they can be armed and be terrorists so that the government can fight you so they can get money from us to go fight them.
Wow, that
right?
sounds like real life.
Yeah.
Kind of the same
So,
thing.
but like
It's
this
another
is
grift.
this is hardcore illegal, of course. So they've gotten busted by the DOJ.
We're always
And
the
what's
ones
kind of
paying
crazy
for
is,
Yeah,
of
no
course,
matter what.
that's how it works. You know. Now there's been some major donors: George Clooney, Tim Cook, Apple, MGM Resorts. They're all donating millions of dollars to this organization,
Bunch of racists.
thinking that they're against hate, but yet they're the ones that are actually
Funding hate.
fostering the hate. They're creating the hate and the racism. So now there
Wow.
are questions about
Knowingly
the,
or
unknowingly.
Mm.
That's the thing. They're
Oh, no.
knowingly doing it.
No, the donors. Did the donors know too?
Yeah.
Well, so they talked
Mm.
about that in the news commentary, and they
There's no
said
way.
probably not, but it is possible. And they said that they're going to start investigating the donors.
I mean, do you really
Because
think
of the
these people are
donors.
donating millions of dollars and not asking any questions on what they're doing with it?
Well, so something that happened. So you had the thing in
It's a write off.
you had the thing in the Carolinas. You remember the fine people hoax with Trump, right?
Oh,
That
yeah.
guy ran over a bunch of people, and the
Yeah.
Democrats ran on the fact that they thought that Donald Trump said that there were fine people on both sides, which is not what he said.
Mhm.
That's been debunked, despite the left's attempts to keep that alive. But so after that is when like George Clooney donated $1 million. And Tim Cook donated $1 million because they think that white supremacy is like a thing, even though it wasn't. And it's possible
It wasn't before they
that
donated.
well, that's the and it's possible that the Southern
But-
Poverty Law Center is funded that protest and that white supremacy.
So if
hate
they're the
group.
ones funding the KKK, aren't they the KKK?
You would that
I mean, to
that
some
actually
degree,
makes a lot of
it's, yeah.
sense. That actually makes a lot of sense.
I've heard in the past about a certain group or organization down around Festus-ish area, I think it is, that is a group of guys that meet, and that they basically didn't allow black people. And I was like, what? Like, this is still going on? I was like, how is this legal?
it's
But,
not.
well, it's not legal, but who's going to try to go there and, become a member basically when there's all white dudes?
Probably a bunch of
I
feds.
mean, it's just
Somebody will.
maybe eventually, but I don't know. I'm not sure. They'll probably, shun them or something, whatever they do to kind of like, just push them out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're an official organization. I mean, if you're just a bunch of dudes going to a bar,
It's
I
an
guess you gotta
official
decide,
organization. I wasn't going to say the name.
Well, yeah, you don't have to say the name. Don't dox them. But right, but I mean, yeah, if they're getting any kind of tax money, tax breaks, like they can't do any of that. That's not legal.
Yeah,
You can't
right.
do that.
Exactly. I
well,
don't know. It's crazy.
whether or not it's legal, is it right or is it wrong?
Well, right. Is it fair?
Is it fair?
Right, it's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Right, but it works both ways, right?
Exactly.
Well, sure.
So it's, I don't know, crazy. The other thing that's crazy about this this group, and again, the Southern Poverty Law Center, is how they just label all of these other groups hate
Terrorists.
organizations, terrorists, right? So like Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk's organization, they label them a hate organization.
Of course.
Well, then the media picks up on all this stuff, right? And I don't know.
Well, I mean, so is Mega. I mean, of course, come on.
Right. I feel like they are getting
There you go.
exposed, and they need
So wasn't
to be
Turning
done
Point
so altogether.
funded by AIPAC and like Israel, and then now they're being labeled a hate group by Southern Poverty Hotline or whatever they are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to connect the dots and all that stuff. I don't know. I mean, I know that there were some rumors that Charlie Kirk all of a sudden changed his opinion on Israel, and then he was murdered, and I don't know. I'm not.
Well, I was
I'm
talking
not
about
going to
that,
go
like,
there.
who funds them? Turning Point
Right, but did they
USA.
fund them originally, and then he said he wasn't going to take their money anymore? I read all that. I don't know what's true and what's not true. Nilla, I'm like the teacher.
Hand is
I'm
raised.
just like,
Open
raise
the
your
queue.
hand.
I heard something from a guy today at work, actually, and I was like, I haven't heard this yet, and I don't know if either of you had. That they now came out and said that the bullet that supposedly shot Charlie Kirk was not from the gun from the kid that we suspect was the one who.
So that's what the defense said, which of course they're going to say that. But then I read something else that the prosecutors were able to prove definitively that it was from the same gun.
Okay.
And that they have video evidence that we haven't even seen yet and all kinds of stuff. But that's what I always wonder this about any court case. The defense always finds some expert that can come in and back up their case.
Yeah.
And then the prosecution always finds another expert that comes in and says the other thing.
Right, exactly.
So I was like, so then the jury just picks which one they figure out to be more credible.
Yeah, who pays the most, in order for this guy to say this, I mean,
that's kind of what it starts to feel like. And I don't know, do they get paid? Do these? I think they do.
Question.
I think these experts do get paid. Why else would they do it? Just out of the goodness of their heart?
Yeah, right. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
It's a good question. Is it fair? Yeah, probably.
What happens when the experts are wrong? You look back at like the, I don't know if you guys ever followed the Adnan Syed case, right? Which was the topic of serial, the Adnan Syed.
I don't know that one specifically. It sounds familiar, but.
Oh, well, it's pretty popular. It was the Serial podcast. No, he was convicted of murdering his girlfriend. And it was one of the very first cases back in 1999. Yeah, look him up. It's a crazy story. So back in 1999, that's when the murder happened. But at some point he was on trial and they used one of the first cases that used pings from cell towers. Well, these experts got up and talked about how it had to be him and it pinged, blah, 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 blah. Then years later, 20 years later, when it was the Undisclosed podcast is investigating this, and it said on the cover sheet from AT&T that incoming calls were not reliable source for geolocation. All the experts on the trial said that it all had to match up. Right. But AT&T themselves were like, no, you can't use that. So the experts were all wrong. And so he ended up getting his conviction vacated, and he's a free man.
Yeah,
it never
believed
crazy story.
Seen my cousin Vinny, right?
Yeah, one of the best.
It's just on, actually. I was watch part of it.
It's always on. It's on TV every day.
Every
day you can
come
find
across it, I have to watch it.
Only the last 20 minutes.
Oh, it's so good. The whole show, the whole movie's good.
Yeah, the movie's very good. Yeah. The Marissa Tomei.
Yeah.
Who's not Danny DeVito? Joe Pesci. Ralph Macchio. Danielson.
Yeah, Danielson.
The judge. Yeah.
Yeah, the judge is from.
That's a good one.
What's that from? The Munsters, right?
Yeah, the Munsters. I think he's all kinds of things. Just you reckon. All right. Last two things real quick, and these are quick hitters. Elon Omar. What is going on with her and her?
It's a good question. More fraud?
See all this?
Well,
it's all about how much she's worth and all this stuff. It's a little ridiculous.
30 million or 30,000?
I mean, come on.
Last year, she was worth like between 18,000 and 95,000. Then this year, she was worth 6 million to 30 million, and everybody was like, "What?" And then she said, "Sorry, it was an accounting error," and now she's gone back to 18,000 and 95,000.
Well, yeah. Why would you want to admit you were worth that much?
Yeah, she got rid of it. What do you mean?
I don't know. She blamed it on her husband.
Of course, she blamed it on her husband. Yeah.
Yeah,
it wasn't her fault.
He runs a winery.
Couldn't have been her fault.
Estru LLC winery, and it was originally valued between 1 and 5 million, and now it has been revised to 0, so it's not worth anything.
Wow.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
a lot
mean,
of
the
lot of real
NFNP
estate's
pod,
worth $0.
that's worth nothing, but right. And I don't know, does he have real
I
estate?
don't know. We
He
could
might not have
liquidate.
real
We
estate.
might,
Like, I don't know.
You
we might
shouldn't
be
even
worth
be able to
$1.
buy real estate.
Well, so then he has a venture capital company, Rose Lake Capital LLC, that was originally valued at 5 million to 25 million, and now
0.
you guessed it, 0.
Oh,
Like,
man.
what? Like, it doesn't make any sense, man.
Well, it's just blatant, like fraud.
Yeah. They said that they accidentally
error.
reported the total market value of the company.
We accidentally
The amendment
reported the
reflects her husband's
numbers, so we
actual
The
ownership
funniest
share.
thing is it's not even them. I'm sure they have like an accountant or some like financial guy. It's not even them. You know, come on.
Well, you would think so. And here's the other thing that's a little strange. So now they're saying that
Well, he's dead.
their net worth. The accountant or her husband?
maybe both.
That's a good question.
Maybe both.
Her husband or her brother.
Maybe it was
Well, and
Russian spies and it was UFOs.
well, and there are some questions about her involved in some of the Somali fraud up in Minnesota. So there's that. Okay.
What?
So I know, crazy, right?
I didn't think there was a question about that.
This is what I find interesting, though, Duds. And I know you're really big into net worth and all of that. You track your own, I think. You don't have to say it on air.
I don't think
Unless you
you're
want
saying
to. Just give us your whole social security number while
$0.
you're at it. Yeah, $0. Right, right.
Can I get taxed on that?
Well, so her
Report negative
estimated net
gains.
worth after there you
go.
go. After this filing is estimated between 18,000 and 95,000. That's what she's saying her net worth is. But she makes $174,000 annually. That is her salary.
Yeah.
So is her
But only
husband making
18,000. You know.
any money?
She live in a
Right.
shoebox.
So like
I
just
mean,
on her salary alone,
Good
her
question.
net worth should be higher.
well, you would think. I mean, does she has to live somewhere, right? She rents everything. She rents her car. She rents her house. She doesn't have any investments.
Right. Well, probably rents it all to the business or something.
I don't
like
believe
that.
any of that.
So it's probably rented.
Buys
Yeah.
property.
She lives actually where she works. Yeah, that too.
I mean, how
and
do you own
investments
a
count
property?
in your net worth, right?
Yeah, how do you own properties that are worth $0? That doesn't make any sense at all.
Oh, 18,000.
Only
I mean,
if
I
they're
guess your
leased
net
out
worth
to your
is
business,
$0
that's
if
worth
you-
less.
If you
Just
don't want
claiming
to pay
bankruptcy.
taxes on things, yeah.
Interesting.
Because if your value, if
All
your
right.
property is $0, you're paying 0 in taxes.
That's
Really
right.
doesn't give you any benefit to have a value on your house of, say, $1 million, other than the government
no.
taxes you on it.
Exactly.
Well,
I would, if I could, I
or
would
you-
report my
you-
value on my property is $0. Because who cares?
Now you can
Yeah.
borrow against it, right?
Sure.
Good.
So that's something like Joe Biden got. I don't want to say busted. That's not the right word.
Yeah, he
but
didn't
like
get busted, I think.
exposed. He had this property, one of his houses, and he had borrowed against it like 16 times. He just kept taking out these
That should be
loans
illegal right
against his
there.
property. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you
Yeah.
could figure all that out, I guess. But then
I
you
don't
take
know.
that money and you put it into other things that earn you more money, and I don't know.
Well, yeah, I guess so. I
Looks
was
like
gonna
a
say, why
home
would you need
equity
to borrow
loan.
against it? I guess, but yeah.
Well, right, but
lot of
16
So you just end up
times.
owing more and more and more. Do you not
Like
have the money?
16
If you have it, then why do
mortgages?
you?
What do you mean?
I mean,
No, I
Kinda.
guess like HE loans and HELOCs and stuff like that. Well, that's the thing. Like normal people, they might take out a HE loan or a HELOC to do improvements to the house, but then it takes them years to pay it back. Like it
Yeah.
becomes this whole financial burden. But
Yeah.
for them, it doesn't. They take the money
well,
and then they,
The
and
thing
plus
is
they
if
have
you-
these houses that are valued at
Yeah.
$30 million.
if you never pay
Well,
it
the
back,
other
I guess it
thing-
doesn't matter, right?
If the home you're in is appreciating at a higher rate
Mhm.
than the loan you're
Yeah.
taking out, then you can just keep
Right.
rolling it into a new loan, right? I mean, think about how
Yeah.
real estate has gone up in the last 5 years, you know? if you had $1 million property that you had a, say $500,000 loan out on, and then now that property is worth 3 million, well, you can take out another
Yeah.
$1 million, and still be at that same ratio. So as the
Yeah.
assets increase in value, you can just start taking more and collateralizing that, and taking the money out.
Yeah, and
and
again, but
Yeah.
that's a
somewhere else.
loan. You don't actually make the money. That's the thing on,
Well, you're
and like
arbitraging,
property
right? You're taking the
taxes.
money out to
Right.
invest it in other
Right.
properties or
Yeah.
things like that.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
paying,
Well,
you're
that's
getting
exactly
tax
it.
deductions on the interest you're paying on the loans, and
Yeah.
you can also do depreciations, and, there's a whole bunch of tricks you can play
Oh, yeah.
with the IRS
Loopholes. Yeah.
and real
Yeah,
estate.
there's
for
something to be
sure.
said about the tax code. It really just needs to be simple.
Real estate
Yeah.
is there's a lot to it too. And like you could make a lot of money doing it. That's how, Donald
Oh,
Trump
yeah.
made all his money doing
Sure.
real estate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tax
Isn't that
codes are
McDonald's made their money?
pretty favorable to real estate holders. So you just
Yeah.
mark it 0
All right,
and don't pay any taxes, Elon, Omar.
Like, what's the deal with that?
It's calling you
Right.
out on that
Last
one.
topic. At least last major topic. And this is kind of a callback to a previous episode. As of today, Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders have officially approved the company's acquisition by. Do you remember? Can you remember the? No, it was
right?
Netflix. Paramount. So when we covered it in one of our earlier episodes,
Mhm.
it was Netflix.
Okay.
And
right.
eventually Paramount was able to do a hostile takeover, more or
Yes.
less, of Warner Brothers Discovery. And Netflix eventually bowed out. They were like,
why it
it's too
hasn't
much
shown up
money.
on my
We're not doing
Netflix.
it anymore. I know, right? So today they officially approved the company's acquisition, a deal valued at $111 billion. And it'll pay an all cash deal of $31 per share,
Yeah,
which
it's
is
a
a
lot of
little bit different than the
briefcases.
Netflix. Yeah, I know. The Netflix deal paid some money, whatever it was, like $25 per share plus Netflix stock, which, I mean, to me sounds like a pretty good deal. Like I'd take Netflix stock, but I guess people really just want.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, so
show
you can
me
buy
the
the
money.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Show me the
right.
Bitcoin.
So
I'm just
So
going to take
now-
out a loan against my house and buy some Bitcoin.
That's not the
listen to
worst
this,
idea
though.
in the
Here are
world.
some of the.
Dudley's like, you gave me an idea.
Right. Here are some of the things now that are being consolidated: Harry Potter, the DC universe, Game of Thrones, Mission Impossible, Star Trek. All of those are moving essentially from the WB to Paramount. Which
How many
also
Mission Impossibles
is
are
like,
there?
like 30.
As many Fast and Furious as there are.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it's crazy.
10?
Here's something that's relevant. CNN and CBS News also part of the deal. So what happens to CNN?
Who cares?
There's
Yeah.
my mind, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Who cares?
I can't believe anybody
right?
actually
So,
watches that crap.
Hmm.
let's see.
I only ever
We'll
just see it
see.
on airports, and that's the only place.
That's it. Why do all the airports show CNN?
I don't know. Although I did
I don't know.
start to
Be-
see Fox and
Because they used to be fair and unbiased.
Yeah, I think
That's
people
Yeah, right.
people used to view it as like actual news. Oh, it's CNN. It's like
Yeah.
official news. But then
Right.
once you get bias into news reporting, people aren't going to watch it.
For sure.
I feel like I have to sneeze.
All right. Mute yourself. I do
Don't
have
do
one
it.
more story. I do have a local on the loose
mute
story here.
yourself.
This is also a quick one. Did you guys see? Have you guys been following the updates on the Armory?
No, not really.
Looks like it's going to be a data
Data
center.
center?
Yeah.
I think
I did hear
did
something
we
about
already
it.
talk about that?
Well, we
Well,
did,
maybe.
I
but
think that was in
there
the
was a
works
lot of
for
pushback.
months.
But people
Oh,
didn't
sure.
want it to be a data center. So it
Well,
looked
nobody
like
wants
maybe
the data
like
centers till they can't get on them.
right.
Till the data's
Well,
not
the
there.
St. Louis St. Louis
Exactly.
Board of Public Service officially approved a conditional use permit for the project to be a data center. So
Does that mean
they've
we're
got a
gonna get,
couple
like,
of things.
6G now or something, or what?
I doubt it.
Why don't they just build all
Come
the
on,
data
somebody's gonna be
centers in
working on that by now.
Antarctica?
Well,
Yeah,
they want
that'd be
to
cool.
move them to space. Elon Musk
That's true.
and the Virgin Voyages they all want
Well,
to do it in space now.
See, I saw an article that was saying that might not be a viable thing to do.
Because
Yeah,
of, specifically? Or-
No,
Well,
I
because of
didn't
the
read it.
energy to get them up there. I
Yeah.
guess that was the biggest
That
thing.
was
Like,
Well,
actually,
China
once
wants
they're
to-
up there, it'd be okay. It's getting
Right.
them up there.
China wants to build solar panels all the way around the whole moon and use that to power the world.
That would be amazing, like a halo, right?
Get a big extension
I mean,
cord.
basically. Well,
Big
I don't know if it would be corded.
If
But
we
then
had to
they
build a
also-
big outlet, if we had to build a big outlet for an extension cord, where do you put it? I
Spaceballs.
think you have to
It's like
put
a
it
big
in
old
Antarctica,
Spaceballs
right?
outlet.
Yeah.
The vacuum cleaner.
You know, Spaceballs 2 is coming out.
I thought I heard something about this possibly. Is it real?
Yeah,
Yeah, Mel
yeah,
Brooks
it's
is
real. I
still
think they
alive.
just released
you know
the
that?
first trailer or something.
true.
He's like got to be. I think he's
He-
99, almost
Yeah,
100.
I think he's almost 100 years old.
Yeah.
Wow,
Did you
that's
watch any
crazy.
of that History of the World Part 2?
Uh,
No.
Is it what?
Judging by the silence.
Let the shorts be
No.
with you.
Yeah,
No, I've actually
it
been
was okay.
watching-
I don't know that I finished it, but
I've been watching the what is it called? It's on Netflix. It's like American Frontiersmen or something like that. Have you seen that?
I have heard of it, but I have
I've been
not
watching
seen it.
the
no.
first
Yellowstone?
episode. It's got like Daniel Boone in it.
Is
You
he alive
heard-
still?
You haven't heard about this? Yeah.
Is it
But
good?
yeah, it's really good. It was talking
No, it
about.
sucks.
So I've only watched the first episode. I think it's about different people that are like big in American frontiers, like why they were important.
Johnny Appleseed.
The first
Johnny
first
Appleseed, of
episode
course.
is about Daniel Boone and how he was. Do you even know anything about
Right.
him?
I think he
I
wore
mean-
like this cap,
Coonskin cap.
what was it? Coonskin.
Was
yeah.
was he the one on the Alamo, or was that the other guy?
No, that was Sam Houston, I think,
Now on a
Yeah.
in the Alamo, right?
there's another one.
So Daniel
know, but
Boone.
maybe
Who's
the
the
other
other-
ones could be somebody
That
else.
was the Texas. That was like the Texas Revolutionary War that you're talking about, the Alamo.
Yeah.
Daniel Boone was
Sure,
the
sure.
I
Revolutionary
mean,
War.
I know what the Alamo is.
Well, do you? Do you really? Daniel Boone was the
Anyways.
American
Daniel Boone did
Revolutionary
not die
War.
at the Alamo. Oh, I'm thinking of Davy Crockett.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Totally different guy.
He also wore the coonskin cap, didn't he?
I think so.
Or was it a
But
pot
two-
or something, or a pan?
No, that was Johnny Appleseed, right?
Damn, it was.
All right, hold on. Yeah, I know that all of them run together. Daniel Boone lived to the age of 85.
Yeah.
Wow, back then?
Died
So
in
he-
1820.
So he started a place called Boonesburg or Boonesboro or something like. I think it was Boonesboro in Kentucky, which was like the American Western frontier back in the 1770s, right? So everything like west of the Appalachian Mountains was considered the frontier essentially, and he
Right.
started up his own little fort colony called Boonesboro and was kind of like having small wars with the Shawnee Indians that were living around there.
Mm.
And then he
Mhm.
got word that the colonies had declared war against England. So he was like on the frontier and got this paper. It was like, oh yeah, here's our Declaration of Independence, Daniel Boone. Here's your fort is like on the leading edge of the West. So the British actually came in and got with the Indians and started arming them with rifles to fight the frontiersmen, Daniel Boone and others like him, to like try and push the Americans out of the West. And then they were going to start attacking the colonial army from the West too. I was like, man, I didn't know anything about this.
Wow, that's pretty
Well, that's
crazy.
the thing. When you dive into like this history, there's so much more. Like you just learn, the first chapter essentially or whatever in school, and then you realize there's all these layers. Listen to some of these stats.
Well,
I've got.
his daughter got captured by Indians, and then he got captured by Indians. He He escaped from the Indians and got back. He lived a crazy life.
Many people confuse Daniel Boone with Davy Crockett. Davy Crockett did die at the Alamo on March 6th, 1836. Daniel Boone died in 1820. But Davy Crockett is often mistaken for Boone because they both wore coonskin caps and they were both frontiersmen. Yes, so that makes sense. Daniel Boone is famous for exploring Kentucky, clearing the Wilderness Road and founding Boonesboro, Kentucky. And he was originally buried in Missouri. Yeah. But later, eventually, his remains were moved to Frankfort Cemetery in Frankfort, Kentucky. So how
Buried
about that?
in Missouri?
Missouri connection. Yeah, Missouri connection.
Yeah, when did Missouri
All
become
right.
a state?
Well,
Like the 1830s or something like that?
I think like 1836.
Something like that.
Here,
So
I'm
wouldn't he
gonna
have been
look that
dead
up
by
real
then?
quick.
Why would he?
Well, he died in 1836. Didn't you say that or something?
I thought you said he
said
died in
36.
1820.
No, it was 1821.
That was the other one.
21 is when Missouri. We should know that.
1821 is when Missouri became a state?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
1821.
So he died in Missouri shortly after it became a state, huh?
Yeah.
He was buried in Missouri. It didn't say he was
Well,
died
right.
in Missouri.
Or
True.
whatever. I mean,
You
I
could have been
figured
buried here.
Well,
You could have
he
been
did
buried
been
here
here.
before it
Transport him
became a
here?
state.
Why?
Like,
Why
why?
would they
Yeah,
bring
but
him here?
anyways.
I don't know. He had 10 kids. Maybe one of his kids lived here. I don't know.
One of them? Oh, okay. 1 out of 10. Yeah, makes sense.
So
I don't know how
going
many
to
of
put
them
him on a
survived
wagon
for
and
that
put him on
long,
a like
but-
a 6-month wagon ride, like wagon
months.
train ride to Missouri.
Why
from
not?
Like
Kentucky.
Oregon
Why
Trail,
not?
you know.
All right. Well, speaking of TV shows, I wanted to talk about a couple of them, and we're running short on time.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to mention to you, Duds, casually. So I'm one episode away from finishing the end of Dark Matter. I know we talked about this on the last couple of pods. We both read that book. The TV show is pretty good. It's
you
on
like
Apple
it, huh?
TV. I do like it, and they're coming back with season 2. So I'm assuming season 1 is going to wrap up where the book wraps up, and then we'll move on to season 2, which comes out in August.
So maybe I'll
So,
wait to get
highly
Apple
recommend
TV
it.
till then. Did they release
There
it
you
all
go,
at once?
and then you can knock out.
They
That
were-
I don't know.
Okay. But yeah, then I
don't
can
know.
see the
But,
2.
Right, just
And I got some other shows on
Yeah,
Apple
watch
TV I want to watch too.
there you go. There you go. All right. I started Euphoria season 3. I don't know if anybody watched Euphoria at all, but not so.
What's that about?
No.
Sydney Sweeney. No.
Oh, Sydney 20
Didn't we? Yeah.
We've talked about it.
That's,
He
that's
has.
what you're
I
doing.
didn't
That's
listen
what
to
you're
it.
watching.
Well, we watched the first episode, but we did finish. The other one that we finished was DTF St. Louis.
Yes.
Yeah, we've finished that.
Did you
too.
watch that, Nilla?
Yeah, finished it. Yeah.
All right, we all watched it. I liked it. It was
It
pretty
was
good.
weird.
It was
Yeah.
weird. Definitely weird.
I mean, kind of weird, but it was also like kind of like, I don't know,
lot of dicks.
not as eventful as like, let it what?
A lot of dicks.
A lot
Oh.
of dicks. Yes,
yeah,
yes, there
yeah,
were.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was all right. It was nothing
I would
crazy.
agree. It wasn't like, it wasn't like a thriller, right? This was
Yeah.
a slow burn.
Yeah.
You ask a lot of questions. They
I
did
didn't
it
think it
out
was
of
that
order
good.
on purpose. You
Like, I
know?
think that,
I
like,
enjoyed it.
I mean, both the characters, and what's his name? David Bateman and David Harbour.
David Harbour. Yeah.
Jason
Did I
Bateman.
say David Bateman?
Jason
Yeah.
Bateman.
I was like, it's not David. Like, they were just both weird in the show. Like, it doesn't even
Yes.
seem like real life, though. It's like, this
Right.
doesn't, I mean, happen. I mean, I guess it
Nobody
could, but like,
I mean,
it's just,
like
dancing
that.
around in their underwear, trying
I
to get
don't know.
aroused. Like
Yeah.
that last episode, man, it was
Well,
it
it
was
was like,
messed up for
was
sure.
it gay or not? Like, it seemed like he was probably gay.
not really, but like, and then one
Yeah,
dude,
I
obviously,
thought.
David
I
Harbour
don't
was maybe possibly semi bi, but yes,
Just a
Did-
little bit gay.com. That's all I gotta
Exactly.
say.
link below. So no, anyways, we also watched Rooster, I think it's called.
Oh yeah. We haven't started that yet,
Not bad.
but
I think that was better actually than
Yeah.
DTF really St. Louis, but
yeah.
Oh, really?
And that's got Steve, it's got what's his name in it, right?
Steve Carell.
Steve Carell, yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, we liked that 4 seasons that he was in. I think that was on Netflix.
Actually,
and that's coming out
back
for season 2 soon. But he's not in it, I'm assuming, because he's.
Oh yeah, did he die?
Spoiler alert! Yeah, he's dead. Yeah, spoiler alert. And then maybe to wrap things up here, bogarting the conversation a little bit, but Recursion, Duds, you said you finished it.
Yeah, I think I liked it. Yeah, it was good. It was there was a couple parts of the story where I was kind of like, I don't think this girl would actually like. She's like not wanting to cooperate, and all of a sudden she's like in it, And it was like the story. Some of the writing I didn't think was like great, but overall I thought the story was pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the story is pretty crazy, and then it kind of
was kind of technical though, like and like how they were what they were doing, and it was a little tough to follow. Like you really had to pay attention, like what was going on.
Yeah, you did absolutely.
Like what timeline you're on, which life are you in?
Yes, 100%. And they're supposedly making a Netflix movie, and I'm like, how do they do this? Because
that would be tough.
It gets complicated.
It kind of reminded me.
Supposedly, it's been in development since like 2019. So,
what movies were you saying it reminded you of? Because I had a couple in mind.
I said was it the Sixth Day? Not the Sixth Day, or that Arnold Schwarzenegger one?
Oh,
with the
cloning. 6th Day. That was the 6th Day, I think.
Is that the 6th Day? Yeah. Where they do the different memories, and
I was actually thinking it was similar in my mind to like it started out like Minority Report when the whole DARPA thing started happening. So I was like, man, that's a lot like Minority Report, how they were traveling and doing that kind of stuff. I was wondering where the story was going to go, and then it kind of got into more of a Groundhog Day type of effect, or what's the other one? The Edge of Tomorrow. Did you watch that one with Tom Cruise?
Oh, that's great. That's a great movie.
That one I think was a lot like it, where they kept trying to go back and make that one day. They had to get that one day perfect, like Groundhog Day or Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
And that I think is the best like movie to relate it to, like as far as the story was.
Sure.
But overall, I think it was pretty. It was interesting. It was a pretty cool concept. So I thought it was good.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm looking for a new book. I just finished None of This Is True, and I didn't really like it.
I recommended those books to you.
I know. Oh yeah, you got to retext them to me. I got to go look at them because I'm on the hunt for another one. Maybe I'll go back in our chat history.
You get hooked on some of those. Those are good.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll talk about those next time in our book club.
That's right. That's right. There you go. All right. What else? Do you guys have anything else? I don't know.
Greg, do you listen to books too? No, he's not in that. You don't like books?
Does your wife?
No, she doesn't listen to them. She just watches lots of stuff
the true crime.
Could have been a book or about a book, maybe sometimes, but no.
Right.
True crime, a lot of that.
Yeah.
Do you listen to podcasts?
I watch more Treasure.
Listen to music.
Not really necessarily that much music at home.
What do you listen to when you're at work?
Music.
Yeah.
I mean, but everybody listens to it, kind of like the guy beside me and my boss, kind of. I just play Sirius through the computer.
Yeah.
You just have it playing through the computer.
Yeah.
Well, that was the big help. When I'm traveling, I listen to that Joe Rogan podcast. They're tough. They're 3 hours long. But when I'm on a plane, perfect.
I guess your drive to work, Greg's probably only like 5 minutes?
Maybe 10. Yeah.
Maybe 10.
If
it's hard to really get
on a rainy
day, get into anything,
Yeah. And at work, I'm constantly on the phone almost, seems like, so I can't really listen to stuff for certain periods of time. Yeah.
My ride to work's like 20 minutes, and it's like, okay, that's like a decent amount of time. I can kind of get into
a little bit more
part of a book.
Yeah.
So do that twice a day.
Yeah, when I'm picking up the kids. Yeah, when I'm picking up the kids sometimes. And sometimes I'll debate, like, do I leave it on the drive home after I picked them up?
Mm-hmm.
When I was so close to finishing this book the other day, I decided to do it. And of course, it got a little
A little
adultish,
dicey.
you know.
They
Yeah, a
probably weren't
little
even listening. No,
dicey.
they have no idea what was going on.
It
Oh
probably
no,
takes me 2 weeks
Oh,
to get
seriously?
through a book.
Frankie listens because he'll ask me that they said that in the book they said poo poo, and Frankie was like, why did they just say poo poo?
He doesn't have his headphones on. He's not doing anything like on his
No.
iPad or nothing. Not right then, I guess, on the ride home.
Not in the car. He just sits there.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
you know, I think I've told you before. He always wants to listen to Story of the Year. Both my kids. When we're in the car. They're like, turn
That's
on
funny.
Story of the Year.
No,
It
you're
is
listening to
funny,
this
but
book.
Sometimes that's it. That's the only thing.
Yep.
I always tell the kids I'm gonna put Bitcoin on, like Bitcoin podcasts or something, or books about Bitcoin.
Yeah,
They're like,
there you go.
no.
Put them to sleep.
I just spilled my trash can underneath the desk.
What's in it?
Right.
Protein
Clean
shakes
up
and
the
beer.
studio. Clean up the studio.
All right. Well, I think we're at time unless you guys had anything else.
What do you think of the Bitcoin
Nope.
price? 78,000.
Well, it's good for Nilla because he bought in $10,000 ago.
Yeah,
I guess it's good for us, but when I bought in at 102, I'm still playing catch up.
Hey, I bought some at like
71.
126.
I know you bought.
What's
some
your
at the
average
high,
now?
yeah.
You know,
My
80?
average now, mine is like 85.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah, when I bought in the first time, I bought in probably somewhere around the price that it is now. And then my other big purchase was at 102. So, my average price is probably somewhere around 90.
When it was at 60, so I bought it at like 71, and then it went down. It was like 63, or something like that. And I was like, the whole time it was 63-ish. I was like, man, I should buy more right now, basically. And then I did, and I was like, well, it's not too late, And then it was 67, and then it was like, 70, and I was like, well, it's not too late, but then it never happened.
I'm never gonna do it. It's still not too late.
It's so hard to. It's so hard to time it. When it went up to 126 and then it dropped down to 102, I'm like, I'm never going to get it lower than this. I got to buy.
The best thing to do is to just buy some regular schedule.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do. I buy some every week. I buy some
and just let it go. That way you're going, with however it goes, and never sell it. Never sell it. Not for a while.
Yep, that's right.
Pretty much. Right.
Look at it
like
long
20 years.
term.
Keep it for a long time. You should be good.
You're gonna be real good.
That's how I feel about my Tesla stock too. It is volatile, but when you look at it over the last 5 years, it's
less volatile recently.
Yeah,
the
recently it has been less.
Is any stock, is pretty volatile and is going to shoot up or whatever. But Bitcoin is the only thing that we've never had anything like Bitcoin before. So we don't even know what's going to happen when it goes through. At some point, the supply and demand there's going to be some kind of inflection where the supply is going to dry up and that demand is going to increase. Then what happens? Because they can't issue more Bitcoin.
Right.
Right. The biggest thing
people
though
can
with
go to
Bitcoin,
paper wrapped Bitcoin, like they can go to ETFs and things like that, right? But that's still it's gonna eventually drive the prices up because the demand is still gonna be there.
Bitcoin is still based on consumer confidence. It's the only thing that's like, I guess not the only thing, but like it's based on consumer confidence. If people decide that Bitcoin's not worth anything, then it'll just tank. Like stock prices are at least
that's how those are too.
Well, to an extent, but it is backed by revenue and EBITDA and all that other stuff.
Yeah, but they're two different things.
Companies.
Like
they can come in and
you're talking about a company
that.
stock that is backed by there's some assets and revenue and all that.
Right.
And then you're talking about a currency, So
sure.
There's no tangible value of Bitcoin just by itself, but what it represents is the currency. And that's what makes it valuable.
But essentially, isn't stock in and of itself just a currency, also like Bitcoin that has a limited?
It is, but it's a
they can always make more of it. That's the only thing. Like with Bitcoin, it's truly capped.
Yeah, technically,
but with the stock price, they can just split it. They could do all kinds of stuff to have more stock.
Yeah, technically, the money is the most used item. The most used traded item is your money, whatever that item is. So if it happens to be Bitcoin or US dollars or sheep, whatever they are, whatever is the most traded commodity, is the money, right? So right now, the money of the
Yeah.
world is basically US dollars, right? Because of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, stocks are, you could call stocks money, but they're not as fungible, right? Because they're harder. It's harder to go trade your Tesla stock
Of
for
course.
$500 than
Right.
it is to go take your
It-
$500 and, go use that
Yeah.
somewhere
Well,
else,
one,
right?
I have to use
You
a
don't have to
third. You have to
convert it,
use a third party.
right? You don't have
Yeah,
to
now you have
convert
to
it,
do that with Bitcoin currently too. You
right?
know.
Because it's not right now.
But
It's not the
eventually,
money, right?
you'll
Right.
buy stock with Bitcoin. So
Well.
Bitcoin, or so stock will be worth whatever amount of Bitcoin it is.
It's possible. Possible. All
Only
right.
time
Well,
will
we
tell.
can't go down. We can't go down this rabbit hole 100%. We could need a whole nother
Yeah,
podcast just
that's
on
true.
Bitcoin. So
Yeah.
yeah, but the market
I
overall
do
has
like
been
seeing the
doing
price
better
go up, though.
lately.
It's fun.
But
Yeah, I
yes,
want to see like 90, or something, but still, yeah.
yeah, I want to see 150.
Yeah, but the thing
Exactly.
is, you got to be careful what you wish for because it's going to go up and then it's going to come crashing down again. It's going to go up. It's going to
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
crashing
Yeah.
down. It's
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
volatile,
But that's the
Like
thing,
it
though. If it
did.
goes up
period of time.
50% and comes down 30% and
I'm
goes up
okay.
50% and comes down
Right,
20%,
exactly. Yeah. I'm okay with
in
that.
general, that's the way that it works. And
Yeah. Hopefully.
if you're in it for the long haul, it doesn't
Right.
matter.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we're going to go
All
through
right.
All right.
quite a spike here, in the next year or so.
Well, we
Yeah,
still got
yeah.
3 more years of Trump. And let's just end
Yeah.
this Iran war in a good way, which I think will happen.
Yeah, hope so.
Economy will boom. See what happens in the midterms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Release the Epstein
never know.
files. I mean,
Release
forget
the
about
Epstein
all that.
files, yeah. Oh, Nilla was just like, I'm out. Screw it.
Houdini.
You guys are taking too long.
And I'm
All
gone.
right. Well, I'm hitting stop as we speak.
All right.
All right. I bet you his battery died.
Probably.
This number has been disconnected.